Well, I wish I could say that the negotiations between the P5+1, that is the Security Council in Germany, the permanent security members in Germany, with Iran, have actually progressed to any extent. But the truth of the matter, they have not progressed at all. And there is no question, Iran has and will continues to play for time. And so there's a growing concern, certainly in Israel and among many American officials, who feel that as long as Iran continues to play for time, while it is advancing and accelerating its nuclear program, this is going to pose a significant danger, and it may very well prompt Israel, maybe even the United States, to take the necessary action, including military one, specifically because the current sanctions, however crippling they may be, are not working. Only today, for example, Secretary of Defense Pineda said we have to give the sanctions more time to work. Well, we know if you look back, these sanctions have been imposed in one form or another for many years for now, but the Iranians did not comply with the IAEA requirement, did not really come forward with any significant plan to reduce the tension between on the nuclear issue. So I think the political, the diplomatic process probably has come to an end, whether the United States and others want to admit it or not. As to whether a crippling sanction might or might not work, perhaps we can give it a little bit more time. But the concern I have is that what the Israelis are saying, that notwithstanding a progress or lack of, Iran is moving toward hiding or putting its major facilities, specifically the more modern centrifuge, and bury them or actually have them operate in a new facility near Qum, way underground, which makes them impregnable to possibly an Israeli attack. And this is what worries the Israeli, that Iran may be reaching a point which we call, Ehud Barak, the Israel defense minister, called it reaching a zone of immunity. And if that is the case, Israel may decide to act before Iran reached that state. Iran, from day one, after the revolution, were hoping to export the Islamic revolution to the rest of the Arab world. That's why they have been unsuccessful. But they have been, however, successful. The United States basically handed Iraq in a golden platter to Iran because of the Iran-Iraq war. So Iran today enjoys tremendous influence in Iraq, tremendous influence in Syria, because the Alawite government is sort of an offshoot of Shia, and certainly in Hezbollah. So Iran, for all intent and purposes, has this control over this crescent from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean, and they will continue to fight and resist as long as they can in order to maintain their dominance over this crescent.